Yeah. Yeah. It's so hot in England. It's so hot in England. All you can wear is cloth and have fans. And in my predicament, because, guys, what is this? What is that? Guys. Drinking too much and going to the toilet is not even it's not an option. It's not an option. So, I'm just here. I'm just here fanning myself. My big daughter bought me a bag of watermelon yesterday. I'm so grateful to her. She did my shopping yesterday and paid some of my bills. Oh, I just love my kids, man. My little one, Kiki, oh, she's doing so awesome, y'all. Thank you for your prayers and all your love. She came, she'd be mopping and sweeping and doing my laundry. My G's. It's really warm today, but I have missed you guys. Thank you, Donnie. I've missed you so much, and I've been wanting to come live, but when I tell you, recovery is a real thing. Recovery is a real life thing, and I did need to take a minute. I needed to step back, and hence the title of the video. I am going to be pulling some oracle cards. We're not going to... Thank you! We're not going to be pulling too much tarot today, but we are going to be pulling a couple of oracle cards. I just wanted to do a little update, backtrack. I'm doing a series of 3 lives. I'm going to be here today, obviously, talking about Divine Feminine, Take a Step Back. And then tomorrow we're going to be looking at psyops and some of the energies to watch out for, being it the anniversary of the announcement of the Whore of Babylon's death. It's been a whole year. And then obviously we've got the 9/9 portal on Saturday. So I'm going to be getting on your nerves. But I've missed y'all. So, oh my God, it's so warm. It's so warm. So I think let's get into, wait, hold on. Let me do some admin here. Let's get straight into cleansing these cards, prayer, and then I've got notes. Because I've literally had to look back on the past events of the last 4 weeks. I didn't do the portals like how I would normally do them because, my G's, there just wasn't the energy, there wasn't the capacity, but some very interesting things happened during the other 2 8/8 portals that I want to discuss, as well as the things that went down in between. This is Oya's month, so we are using the Dragon's Blood sage, and yes, I'm only going to be using 2 decks today. I'm going to be using Sacred Destiny. I'm also going to be using the Art of Divination. Hey Terry, thank you. Man, all we can wear in this heat is a piece of cloth. Because no. It was so hot last night, yeah, that I had to sleep with the door open, which meant the cat could do whatever she wanted to do. And I had to sleep with all the windows open. Let me tell you, a couple of times I dashed the cat. She tried to get on the bed. A couple of times I had to quick backhand. Like, the hell? It was a bit mad. I didn't really sleep. I haven't slept for days. And that's probably another theme as well. That's probably another theme. Getting up every 2 hours. She's been checking out the Schumann resonance. Every time there's a madness, she's like, what's the Schumann resonance saying? And I'm like, no, you're right. Because we acted like there wasn't this wild anomaly in the Schumann resonance just weeks ago, right? So, the way I'm sat awkwardly, but it was either this or we do it on the bed, and I just couldn't see how I was going to hitch it up. So I've got like my foot elevated because Monday is like 6 days after surgery. Those you don't know, blood, I broke my ankle in 3 places on the 25th. I want to say the 25th. Yeah, I broke my ankle in 3 places. I heard it snap. My G's. I thought I was flipping Bruce Willis, Unbreakable. I end up being fucking Samuel L. Jackson. Oh my God. It was very, very intense. And then what made it even more intense was the circumstances in which that happened and who was first to my aid. And it was a lot of things. It was a lot of things. And so, yeah, there was a lot of lessons in that. So I just feel like that's a video for another time. I'll share that probably once I'm healed up and get to analyze. Because I don't think it happened for no reason. It definitely did not happen for no reason. Truth of the matter was, yeah, listen, it was the crack that sent me. It was when I heard it. No, I put the crying that I put down. But you know where I was? I was in the studio. I was actually making, I think I did my best recording I've ever done, ever since I've started music. And since I've been doing music. And I was, when I say gassed, when I say adrenaline. Like, if you're on Patreon, I'm going to post up the video of that studio session. I've been posting up the studio sessions so you lot can get little snippets and see where I'm going. Hey your name is so good. Asunta, have I said that correctly? Beautiful. Beautiful rising, Queen Diamond. And listen, guys, hit the like button when you come in, because you know I need the algorithm to rhythm for me, because I ain't been here for a minute. But anyway, yeah, so I was gassed. So I'm gonna post up the process, what gassed. And it wasn't just the fact that I was gassed, it was also the fact that I was in unfamiliar surroundings. It was also the fact that I had major adrenaline. It was also the fact that it was dark coming down the stairs, and I had my fucking phone and my headphones in my hand, and I've come down the stairs not realising it was like some winding triangle stairs, and not realising that where I put my foot there was nothing to really balance on. It was just a little triangle. So where I've tried to catch my foot in on the other foot, cracked my leg and snapped my foot. But mind you, it's this is another thing. I've taken notes because I feel like we are going to be pulling some cards, but we're also just going to be channeling the energy, because there were 3 things that were said before it happened. And one of the things that was spoken about was jumping in Ubers. And I made a fact that I don't really get in Ubers anymore, because who can afford Ubers in this cost of living right now? Like, it's not an option. Secondly, we spoke about not wanting to have a late night. We just wanted to bang out these tracks and go home early. Third thing that we spoke about was my vulnerability, because this was the 3rd time trying to sing this song. And the 2 previous times that I tried it, voice was cracking. It really wasn't happening. And then I went away and came back, and I realized that I had to be really vulnerable when I sang this song, and I had to use parts of my vocal that I don't tend to really use. So I practiced, and then the night before there was a spider that tapped me on my toe. Can you imagine the spider? If you're on Instagram, you already know. So the story about the spider tapping me on my toe, 2 hours later giving me melodies to this song that completely kind of married everything together and gave me the confidence to say, like, bam, I want to go studio. So that's how I ended up in the studio the next day, and lo and behold, I literally broke a leg. So guys, be careful about what you say, because that night, not only did I have to get a cab because the ambulance didn't come. Do you know an ambulance did not come? And secondly, we had a very late night. And thirdly, my vulnerability was on a trillion, because never in my life, not even during labor, have I put down screaming in the way that I was screaming. My soul left me. I promise you. But then my Aries kicked in, the adrenaline kicked in, and you know, next thing you knew, I was cameroing up my hair, ready to go into hospital. And taking out my jewelry, just making sure that, you know what I mean, I was just ready for what came next. Anyway, long story, I'm definitely gonna at some point probably talk about that in much more depth, because there are some serious lessons. I'm gonna discuss some of the lessons that have been learned in that, but I think it's a theme for divine feminine to take a step back, divine feminine to rest, divine feminine to call on your village for help. That is the theme. And as we are coming out of this masculine energy into the feminine energy, um, that's right. That's right. So as we are coming out of the masculine into the feminine, divine feminine energy, those that identify mostly with divine feminine energy, it is time for you to take a step back. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I got my notes. I took notes because I was just like, you know what? I don't want to come up here blagging, trying to remember. I want to actually be as precise and concise as possible to give you all the messages, give you the downloads, whatever it was that has been on my heart to share with you over these last few weeks. Masculine energy, you have a duty also, and that is to assist. Masculine energy, you are being asked to assist. And feminine energy, you being asked to step back. Now, you know, during the solstice, I was celebrating the masculine energy and how far they have come in their healing. And some of them have been a bit reluctant to step forward with their new way of being. And so they are being forced. I was with a masculine when this happened, and the masculine was forced to step up and take care of me and make sure that my needs were met regardless of whether they wanted to or not. That was very loud. And then it was mostly masculine energy that came to my aid in the early hours of this situation happening. In the early days, it was the masculines that were just like, they would just roll up, how may I be of service? It was extraordinary. And this is why I'm here to do this live, to kind of break down some of the energies that we are encountering at this time. Right, so boom. So collectively, there was further physical purging, and this is like the week following the 8-8 don't talk about cutting toenails, because I wouldn't let you, because that's, to me, is like, oh my god, I would definitely get my daughter to do that. That's a lot of things. So boom. So like I said, collectively the week after the 8-8 Lionsgate, I observed a lot of purging from the divine feminine. There seemed to be a lot of fear within the collective, not necessarily the divine feminine, within the collective as a whole. There seemed to be much, whether it was physical purging or mental purging of ideas and fears. These things were coming up to the surface for us to look at and for us to transmute. So and it also led to a change in diets, the way that we were eating, but wasn't necessarily completely clean, but it was improved. And as I remember, a theme for Pisces for that time was to refrain from overindulgence before bed. Before they went to bed, overindulgence, whether it be through eating, smoking, drinking, screen time. There was the request that this needed to be looked at, so that first of all, your dreams were a lot more clearer and a lot more precise, able to retain when you woke up, and also that your sleep was a lot more deeper, that it didn't have to worry about digestion while you were sleeping. So that was a theme. Also, I feel like psychic abilities became a lot sharper straight after the peak of the Lionsgate. We actually ended the Lionsgate on the 12th of August, but I feel like straight after the Lionsgate, I feel like everything became a lot more heightened for everybody. People were telepathy was something that was extraordinarily loud, clear, and precise. Not just with your nearest and dearest, but with your all of your tribe members. You were able to almost summons each other into each other's spaces and be very vocal about doing that, talking about I was just thinking about you, or you ran across my mind, or something reminded me of you, and boom, there's the person that you get what I'm saying. I'm so glad, Coco. I'm so glad because there's going to be 3 in a row. This is the first of 3. I'll be back tomorrow and Saturday because now that I've figured out the angling and the lighting, and it's actually better. It's actually, as long as you lot can hear me well. Thank you, varying Redbeard. Thank you for asking people to hit the like button. Rising Renee, beautiful rising. So anyway, I feel like that has, and we have been moving across the timelines intentionally. I'm going to break that down at some point. But so we've been moving at warp speed. I think normally during dream space, during meditation, and during things where it's requiring you to focus. So it could be anything from walking to singing to dancing to I don't know, painting, writing, anything that's asking us to focus is heightening our ability to move through timelines. Does that at all make sense? Please tell me, because I likened it to Quicksilver from the X-Men. If you know Quicksilver from the X-Men, he moves so quickly that he can change things. So like in real time, he can like make subtle adjustments to things. And when everything kind of catches up with his timeline, things have changed. And that's what we have been doing since the Lionsgate. We have been subtly making these changes intentionally. Before, I think we were doing it haphazardly. I feel like we were doing it without fully knowing the process of how we were doing it. But I think we've caught the formula. I think we understand fully that through our words, actions, and deeds, we can change our outcome by choosing what we say and do before we go to sleep. We can tap into the subconscious intentionally. Hey, Crystalline Alchemist, beautiful. Wagwan, gal. We can intentionally make these changes to our timelines. And what it is that we are not manipulating other people or other circumstances, we are manipulating our own minds, our own thought patterns, our own vibrations. That's what's being manipulated at this time. So for instance, if like let me see what I did as an IE, as an example. Intrusive thoughts are quickly observed. So you have an intrusive thought. For me, when I'm singing, my intrusive thoughts was, that was off, that didn't sound good, oh my god, that sounds awful. These are my intrusive thoughts when I make music. But I'm able to catch them as soon as I see them, because they have a different vibration to everything else that's going on. So as soon as I feel them, I'm like, that sounded good, that was great. And before it can get any power over me, I'm already gone. I'm already into the melody. I'm already into the song. You get me? And I'm not allowing the intrusive thoughts to choke me, to stifle me, to prevent me. So therefore, I'm moving into a different timeline altogether. a timeline that didn't exist before I stopped fucking with the intrusive thoughts. You see me? All right. So, your thoughts, remember I told you before the accident happened, we'd already spoken into existence what was going to happen that evening. But we spoke it like, oh, we don't want this to happen, we don't want that to happen. But in fact, when two or more of you are present, two or more of you speak in my name, I am with you. What's that mean, Ray Ray? I don't understand. When two or more of you speak, I am present. So especially when you're having these conversations about what you do and do not want with somebody else, there is more potency to that. And depending on the individuals that you're having the conversation with, say you're having it with another divine masculine or another divine feminine, somebody that is of your vibration, blood, I'm telling you. I'm British born. My accent jumps from British Cockney to well-spoken English to Jamaican to various dialects in African and sometimes American. It's just a jambalaya. It's just a jambalaya. But I am British born. I was born in London. But anyway, boom. What was I saying? So just be, you see, Nikita sprained her ankle. We're going to talk about this very injury because I wasn't the only one. I feel like mine was severe, broken it in 3 places. Crystalline alchemist, not with the knife. Not with the knife, girl. Because we're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about that too because we're laying down our sword and shields. We're not here to fight nobody. But anyway, boom. So, a few people, Sophia sprained up her ankle in Africa. One of our other sisters here, Willow, mashed up her foot, left side. We're going to talk about that. There was a few people that I knew personally that mashed up their left side of their leg, foot. Anyhow, that's why I fucks with you lot heavy, because I love y'all differently. Get me? Anyway, so we're going to talk about that, but we're going to get to that in a moment. So any of you that have injured, especially the left leg in some sort of way, I have a message for you. Distinctly for you. All right, boom. So where was we? So boom. So like I said, like as we are jumping these timelines, it may feel like some time is elapsing, but really it's just a split of a second, a small slight change of thinking, a small slight change of decision making, a small slight change of action, small slight change of words or dialect that are causing these timelines to collapse and break and jump into new things. That's just what's happening. So, and we are being very, very aware of how we are doing that now. And the very mere fact that we can now manipulate our subconscious. Hi, Oceana. On 0550. Hey, girl. No, Crystalline Alchemist. Your mum and your dude. Don't lie. So anyway, the more conscious that we are of the changes that we are making and how we are jumping these timelines, the more we are doing it. The more we are doing it. The more you are jumping into timelines when people you thought you knew are completely different entities. Moving completely differently, saying completely different things to you. Absolutely, their actions are different towards you. And we're going to come to that when it comes to, when I start talking about tribalism and stepping into your tribe. Yeah, I am proper London. I'm South. Like, what, from your South London, like, blood. I was thinking about my hood, yeah? And because you know that I have no shame. I grew up in the hood. But it wasn't a black hood, it was a white hood. Like, it was full of very Cockney and Irish people. That's who raised me. These are the mothers that raised me. Hey! I'm not going to lie to you. varying red beard. I ain't gonna lie to you. When it comes to Croydon, I have issues with bunching that into South London because you lot are CR1. You're not South East nothing, Southwest nothing. So I'm a little bit biased when you lot try to pretend that you lot are from South London because I don't know, more Surrey than anything. Anyway, anyway, so we are doing this Interstellar. Oh, you don't. Where do you live, varying Redbeard? I'm sorry, you already know me. I already come out. If I catch a little conversation and a vibe, I'm gonna inquire. So boom. We are moving Interstellar like. I just watched a movie the other day. After I watched it when it first came out, well, 2 years after it came out, I didn't really get it. But then something was like, watch it again. So I watched it over a course of 2 days because you know it's an all 2 hour long movie and I just didn't have the capacity. But I watched it again and it was talking about changing realities in the fifth dimension to affect the third dimension. And they kept referring to something. I missed that, Oceana. I wish I could read as quickly. So they referred to them and they as I always do it as above, so below, so within, so without. I love all that. If it's you, then it's me. If it's me, then it's you. You already know. They referred to these beings who were giving them messages and downloads and all these things. And at the end of the film, you find out that these fifth dimensional creatures or beings are yourself. So your higher self or your fifth dimensional being is giving us the cues and the information and the guidance and the knowledge needed in order to affect our realities right here, right now. And like I said, I feel like the more that we are tapping into that, practicing that, the more easy it becomes for us to manipulate our realities and manifest what it is that we want to experience at any given time. So that being said, Divine Feminine especially, you are being asked, many are laying down their swords and their shields. Many are laying down their defense mechanisms and their tools for war. So, the most effective tool at this time is your vibration, your ability to maintain your vibration and to not let it be affected. So if you notice, I didn't necessarily say your highest vibration, I said your vibration. So you're allowed to feel how you feel. You don't have to be necessarily, that's it, Crystalline Alchemist, that's literally it. You want to take that however you want to take that. So when I say that we're laying down our swords and shields, like I spoke to you very candidly recently about dismantling my altar. And it didn't happen because I wanted it to happen. It happened because it was just a natural course of things. Marceline began removing all of the feathers and knocking down the pictures to start with. She was, food was decomposing at a phenomenal rate. Flowers, everything was dying so very quickly. And so there was just this, it almost felt like a chore. But what first occurred to me when Marceline started dismantling the altar by bringing me the feathers was that she was gifting me, she was giving me an offering. And sometimes I felt like I was pouring so much into my altar and not so much into myself, not so much trusting myself in order to change things, that my prayers alone were not enough. I had to give them to my ancestors and them in order for things to change. So I think what Marceline was trying to show me was that I had the power to do that for myself, and that I was the altar. And I really was grateful for that when I went into hospital, when I went to have the surgery for the ankle, was that I was able to go into that surgery confident that regardless if I had created an altar or not for my ancestors, that they were with me, that my guides and my Orisha and my guardians were with me, because I am them and they are me. That was the ultimate lesson that I learned. Please hit the like button when you beautifuls come in, my G's. That was the ultimate thing that gave me the confidence to go in and out of that surgery. I was sedated twice in 5 days, put to sleep because of the severity of the pain of my ankle. So each time I was put to sleep, I just went straight into prayer. Divine Mother and Father who live within us. Before I knew it, I was up again. I was safe. All was well. I was enough. My voice, my vibration was enough. I wasn't influenced by even the activities of my altar. Do you get what I'm saying to you? So while I lay in the hospital under the full moon, can you believe it? I had the surgery on the full moon. I mean, geez. Again, that was another silver lining to what had happened, because in my bedroom, I've feng shuied my room, so my bed is no longer near the window, and plus all the trees in front of my window. Zenith, why? Why Zenith? Zenith, I hope you're not here playing no games, because you will have to get blocked, because that is gross. Why are you telling us that? We don't care. So, anyway, you're getting blocked because you're getting on my whole nerve. Alright, boom. So, yeah, I was given a whole window seat to the full moon. You already know I don't really play with it like that, but I was given a whole window seat to the full moon. And it could be my imagination, it could be my own whatever, but I feel like she comforted me, she soothed me, she aided in the healing, she aided in I was also very dehydrated, so I was given a water drip which allowed me to be hydrated without having to drink too much. So obviously the moon affects the waters. Hey Ray, the moon affects the waters. So we were able. Hey Lola, I was able to drift in and out. Hey Kings in Queen Therapy. Thank you. That's such a nice thing to say. I was able to truly be affected by whatever that moon. It was a super full blue moon, if I'm not corrected. So if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I was able to fully feel the benefits of what had actually happened to me. I was able to not be afraid. I was also able to fast. Thank you, Lola. I was also able to fast. So coming straight out of surgery, I was offered biscuits. I'm talking custard creams and bourbons. That's what I was offered straight out of surgery, and I refused it and said that I would continue to water fast. I'd already been 29 hours in, so it didn't make no difference to just continue. So during the moon, I was able to fully recharge during that time. I feel like if I was at home on a normal day, I wouldn't have really had the discipline to do that. And so and even after fasting for 48 hours, I was just on fruits. My baby girl came and bought me some mangoes and melons. Mum bought me some strawberries. Do you get me? So I was just able to keep it clean throughout that whole process, and I feel like, again, that was part of the initiation into this um this stepping back, taking a back seat, falling back. Now, as I wait, let me continue with these notes. Um, so I feel like as we've stepped back from putting down our tools, our swords, and our shields, we have fallen much more into the devotion and the faith of the process. We are much more confident in moving through the this process has purpose. If some of you have been wondering what your purpose is, your purpose is to move through the process with grace and ease and faith. That is your purpose. That is what we are being asked to do. So it's not about overthinking it at this point. It's about just being. This is what I wanted to say. There was a few weeks back, just before this accident happened. I love that you purposely try to make people laugh, because I love to laugh. And really and truly, I was thinking about it over these last few weeks where I've been really kind of stuck. I can't leave the house, first of all. I can't even go on the roof. I can't go in the garden. I can't leave the house. So what's been keeping my spirits up the most is giggling and and you get me? Like, if you phone me to see if I'm all right and we're not bussing up, don't phone me again, I beg. If we're not bussing up, don't phone me again, because that has kept me absolutely together. I was even laughing. Let me tell you, I was even laughing when the accident happened. By the time I'd taken 2 ibuprofen and got my wits about me and the adrenaline kicked in, I was cracking up. And the masculine that was with me was really frustrated because he was finding it very, like, it was a very serious situation. And I saw a meme not so long ago of 2 guys. They're cracking up, like, I'm talking really can't breathe laughing, and it said how your higher self looks at you when you're taking life too seriously. We're not to take this shit too seriously, you know, because first of all, it's like this. It happens so quickly, and second of all, it ages you. So if you're being aged by worry and stress, you are not fully able to embrace and embody the beauty of what this life has to offer at this time, especially with all of these changes and these shifts. That's why, again, I feel like Divine Feminine is being asked to take a step back. The world has to fall apart without your input. Do you understand that? Because a lot of the time we're trying to raise the vibration of the collective. We're trying to alchemize and transmute. But some of these things need to go down without our interference. It's like, you know, sometimes when you're watching a child trying to walk for the first time, your initial instinct is to catch it as it falls, but what you need to do is just let the baby fall and get itself up to walk. That's the analogy that I'm using. We are newborn. We don't know what the age of Aquarius really is. We don't understand fully what the fourth and the fifth dimension vibration really is. So we are black babies in this, and the Divine Feminine naturally has a tendency to do too much, to interfere in a natural process of being newborn, of the exploration. Do you understand what I say? So that's why we've been asked to take a step back, to really fall back. And listen, Never have I spent so much time in my bed, because y'all know I love my bed. I love my bed, but not this much. Not this much. The other day, sorry, I need water. What does that mean? Can someone translate what that means? If it's rude, I'm gonna block you. Anyway, boom. So I've been in my bed. Like the other day, like I said, Monday, I thought I was all right. 6 days after surgery, I think I started the story, didn't finish it, got distracted. 6 days after surgery, I thought, boom, let's get back to recording content, because for Patreon, for a little while, I was out of the game. Happened like, I think I was out of the game for Patreon maybe a week, and I felt like I needed to create some content for it. So I sit down in my little spot by the window, and my foot isn't properly elevated. I create the content. I then go into the kitchen and I make myself a meal. I can cook and I can do things like I sit in this chair. This is my wheelchair that just goes. I just take it everywhere with me. So I can cook. I can wash up. And so I cooked myself a meal. I sat down in the kitchen, and I took my laptop. I watched something. Started watching Interstellar. Before nightfall, my toes were swollen and they were black. And I was like, oh shit. They said if anything happens, if I have any swelling or anything like that, then I need to call them. And the last thing I wanted to do is go back to the hospital. So I just elevated my foot. I have to take these injections in my stomach to thin my blood so that I don't get a blood clot. So I took one of the injections and I got straight back into my bed, and I kept my foot elevated. By the time I woke up in the morning, everything was back to normal. The discoloration had gone. My skinny toes were back. And that was a lesson that even though I feel capable, doesn't mean that I need to do anything. I need to continue to take care of myself. I need to continue to step back and look after myself. So as you release your sword and shields, your defense mechanisms, your physical tools of protection, also what melts away are these grudges, these resentments, these what else did I put here? Grudges, resentments, and pettiness seems to melt away as we get rid of some of these tools. Now there was Salam DLS 23, Interstellar, Nikita. So as I said, there was this narrative floating around, maybe soon after the Lion's Gate, from people who were, speaking on behalf of the spiritual community. I'm looking for my words. I'm really finding my words, because Aries, I'll just say some shit. So sometimes I have to slow myself down and really look for the words. Some people that were representing the spiritual community saying that the chosen ones were under attack. Now, I saw it not 4 times, 7 times I counted before I made up my mouth, before I worked my mouth. And I posted something on TikTok that was counteracting that, because my argument is, if you are claiming to be a chosen one, then you are unfuckable with. Nothing can't fuck with you. So what attack are you under? If you are claiming to be a chosen one, then you have done the work to protect yourself. If you're claiming to be a chosen one, then you have shielded yourself from anything that could possibly infiltrate and attack you. If you are the chosen one, what weapon will form and prosper where? And after Interstellar and even deeper understanding of the higher self, you are the one that chose yourself. You chose you. Because anybody that has been on this path of ascension already knows how difficult it is to do. You wouldn't choose it. You wouldn't choose it for yourself if you knew how it went down. The shadow work, the purging, the releasing, the isolation, the cycles, the breaking of patterns and curses. You wouldn't do it. So you chose it. So therefore you chose yourself to be part of this process. So therefore, who gonna check you, boo? Who gonna check you? And if you understand yourself the way that you should understand yourself, you understand that you are a being of light and dark. So if there's darker entities coming to attack you, they would have to come for your darker entities that will stand up for you. And I know my darker entities, and I already know. I wouldn't suggest it. I wouldn't fuck with it personally if you don't want to fuck around and find out. So if you have that confidence and that knowing of self, please hit the like button when y'all come in, my loves. If you have that confidence and knowing of self, then where do you find the time to be fearful of attack? I'm not saying not to be aware, because obviously we can see that there's a lot of fuckery and wahala going on. We can see that. But at no point do we feed into that. At no point do we reiterate that. What's his name? Ooh, what's his name? There's a rapper. Ooh, tip of my tongue, he's going to come to me. And he's got a line that says, do you regurgitate or do you share the beauty of life as much as you share the things that are going wrong? Kenny and Kadiva, my love, wagwan, baby. Do you do that? So in it's the same as gossip. Like, are you quick to spread the good news as you are to spread the wahala? I'm not spreading no wahala here. I'm not in the mood to. Amy Winehouse, I wrote it down. Amy Winehouse said it best. She said, when we write, she said, we write songs when we're in our worst places. But then when you've come out of that and you're in a better place and you have to sing that night after night, it's more depressing than anything before that. That's why I don't listen to Back to Black. One of my favourite albums, I ain't gonna lie to you. At the time it came out, I was definitely in that energy, going through divorce and all the things, and I was absolutely about that life. Same with Adele. I don't listen to Adele because I find that they just speak about their pain, and by them just only speaking about their pain gives a cycle of repetition. There's no room for anything else. I'm very, very intentional about what I record, the songs that I record. I love the Bee Gees, very in Redbeard. I love me a Bee Gees. I love their harmonies. So be intentional about, first of all, what you are absorbing, and second of all, what you are sharing. Yes, there is a lot of foolishness and terrible things going on in the world, and they are not to be ignored. But you yourself can personally pray and transmute that energy. Pray over that energy and transmute that energy. You don't then have to then be spreading it and discussing it with thousands of others and putting those seeds into other people who may not even have the ability to transmute and to you know, transform that energy into something light. What story did you write, Crystalline Alchemist? Talk to me. So right now we're here being the example, Divine Feminine. You don't have to do anything rather than giving You're not giving away your light anymore. You're not trying to save motherfuckers out here. You're not. You're just trying to just be the example of what it looks like to be authentically you. And when, like I said, authenticity includes your darker aspects as well as your light aspects. You're not out here loving light and clipping and kumbayaing the whole fucking time. See me? Alright, boom. Last chance saloon. Now, you hear when you are being guided. You hear when you are being asked from, whether it be your, whatever you perceive it to be, your higher self, the divine, your guides, your angels, your ancestors, whatever it is that you perceive it to be. You hear when it's time for you to do something, to make a move, to say, do whatever. And at this point, if you don't hear, you will feel. You are said. If you don't hear, you will feel. So pay attention to what you are being guided to do at this time, and also be conscious about where some of this information could be coming from. I'm also watching a program on Netflix called Travelers, and they speak about the oh god, what's it called? The director, which they speak about being their god, so to speak, but their director is AI from the future that they created in the future that can send them back in time to change the events of the present in order to change their future. Now, there was a part where they felt that the AI was infiltrated by something else, and so therefore the instructions that they were getting were not from the director. But then came another character that said, just because the director is giving us instruction doesn't mean that the director is always correct, because the director is not human and doesn't have some of the emotions and the empathy that some of us might have. I mean, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent, but I think my point is, just be, you're not a robot, so you're not gonna take instructions and programs literally straight away. You're going to ponder, you're going to meditate on them, you're going to see if it resonates with you, you're going to see if it is for your highest, greatest good. It might not feel like you want to do that, especially when it comes to, I guess, releasing some things, habits, people, places and things, but you know deep in your heart of hearts that it is for your highest good. Thank you, Canu FF. Makes me feel weird. Finally, before we pull, because we're just going to pull a couple oracle cards. I was going to pull them in between everything else, but I don't want this video to be too long, so I definitely want to start talking about this injury of the left side, especially of the leg. Thank you so much. Thank you, Venom Muhammad. Thank you so much. And feel no way if you're new here, welcome, and please subscribe and like. I'm going to be a lot more active, not necessarily with just tarot, but also with just general life stuff, because, you know, everyday tarot. Boom. So we're going to talk about injury, this injury of the left leg, when it could have affected us. Now, the dates that I have got is between the 21st and the 25th. This is when these injuries occurred. Thank you, Varying Redbeard. It's true, donations are not required but helpful. Thank you, I like it. And we can give or take a few days before, a few days after, coming like the moon cycles. So if you were affected on your left leg or ankle, this is the feminine side of your being. This is This represents your feminine energy. This is why the injury has given me the message that we need to take a step back. We need to just chill. This is another thing about divine feminine energy. I'm unable to do the things that I used to do, like my salt baths and going out into nature, grounding myself. So what I'm having to do in the home, I'm barefoot all the time, barefoot, 1 foot, literally. I'm using salt in the shower, so I lather myself and then I rub the salt into my skin, which is a way that I'm trying to counteract, but I'm not able to sit and soak. Everything's quick. I'm having to do everything very quickly and get back to resting, get back to soft lifing. Now, so the ankle represents our ability to wait. Ankle is ruled by Pisces. The ankle and the foot is ruled. Am I right there? Wait, or is it the ankle ruled by Capricorn? I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna say Capricorn is the ankle, Pisces is the feet. So at the time of these injuries, Jupiter, which is the ruling planet of Pisces, was in its shadow stage of retrograde. Of course. So ankles represent our ability to change direction, and or go with the flow. So this first message is, hey Kevin. The first message is divine feminine, release control. You can't control everything and everyone. The only thing that you can control is yourself, your thoughts. And sometimes you can't even control, thank you, not or noot. Sometimes you can't even control that. So the only thing that you can control are your thoughts. Control what comes out of your mouth. I can't necessarily control all of my actions at this point. If I need to go toilet, blood, as soon as I feel that, I need to start making a move, because I can't hold it, and I need to move quickly, otherwise it's going to be a mess. You get me? Because where I've got to go down the stairs, come up the stairs. 47, Canu? I'm 47. Anyway, divine feminine, release control. It also represents the willingness to accept joy and pleasure that life brings, the soft life, asking for help. Now this is very important. Collective, my G's. This bit is important, because there's been more than a few times I've come on and people have said, I can't find my tribe. I wish I had my tribe. The problem is, some of you can't find your tribe because you're too afraid to ask for help. And you're too afraid to ask for help because you're too afraid to see who is going to disappoint you, who is not going to step up. But that's not the point. Because if you're too afraid to find out, who is not going to step up. So say for instance, you don't ask for help because, and then somebody like your mom or your dad or your brothers or your sisters don't help you, and somebody else helps you, or your love interest doesn't help you, but somebody else steps in and helps you, and how that will feel. You have to just ask for help, and I had to be put in this situation to really ask for help. No word of a lie. I love you all. Amrin. I love you all, because you all love me. So it's just a mutual exchange of energy. But I can feel the weirdness, but I'm allowing you. Just hit the like button. That's all I ask of you, innit? So boom. Thank you, Crystalline Alchemist, for pulling it up, because I saw it as well. But I'm trying to stay focused. I'm trying to stay focused. So boom. So now, if you are afraid to ask for help because you're afraid of who won't help you, you are blocking who will. Do you want me to repeat that? If you are afraid to ask for help because you are afraid of who won't help you, you are blocking those who will. I can't speak Hindi. So my G's, if any of you are struggling at this time to truly find your tribe, truly, because I spoke about it in the 8 Lionsgate reading. So if you want to see anything about that, please check that out. But if you do want to find your tribe, if you do want to find those who will be there to support you, to love you, to care for you, to give you grace and compassion and patience, these things, my G's, please ask for help. And I had to ask for help in this situation. As soon as this happened, I messaged my mum, who went back to Zimbabwe like 6 days previously. Hey Leah, hey my darling. You can also come to the yard. I'm back at home, so you can come and pick up them things, pick up the Oni steams, Medea. So boom. I said to my mum, like, I've broken my ankle. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. And she said, is there anybody that can stay with you? And I started to sob because I couldn't think of a single person that could stay with me right now. And I felt very, very vulnerable and very alone. Lo and behold, though, that didn't last because my brother, the Axel, who does the Egypt trips, came for carnival. Just for carnival, he came to get his hair did, came for carnival. He ended up staying with me for 2 days. He ended up taking me back to the hospital because they botched up the cast and I had to get it done again. And he ended up getting me food all day, shopping for me the next day. We did do his hair because I love what I do and my hands were working. So we were able to position ourselves. I still did his hair and did many other clients that weekend as well, being carnival weekend. I'm about to lose that carnival money. You're mad. You're mad. But what I did do was see that these were not just my clients. These were my tribe. These people took out my rubbish. These people brought me water and toilet paper. These people fed me. There was so much love and help and villaging. My village was villaging for me. And even after that, you know, people were sending me deliveries from Africa. Sophia, girl, you understand? There was so much. I only do dreadlocks, my darling. That's the only hair that I do. So yeah, there was so much support and love still now pouring in. Mothers cooking meals for me and bringing them, and shopping. I did my first shop in 2 weeks yesterday, spending my own money. Can you believe that? Nobody would let me spend £1. People dropping money in my bank account because they were scared that I wouldn't be able to work and that I would fall short from my bills and them things there. Can you imagine? There was no way I was going to ask for that type of help. There was no way. But I was put in a position where I had no choice. And so please don't be put in a position where you have no choice. If you need help, ask for it. You don't have to do everything by yourself. You don't have to do everything by yourself. That is not a requirement of you being here at this time. And you will see that help is there for you. It's also suggested that the left foot contains the vital energy for the moral and spiritual growth and understanding. So at this time, we're not supposed to be putting no pressure on our feet, because we are absolutely supposed to be focusing on ourselves, just yourself at this time. I'm not sure for how long, I don't know why, but I'm sure it will be made clear to us. It is really about focusing on what was important before ascension for you. Before ascension became your be all and end all and your life, what were you what were your hopes and your dreams and your desires? That is being asked right now. And because of the nodal shifts from Scorpio and Taurus into Aries and Libra, this again, let me see what I wrote about that. So the node shifts invite us to cultivate new and different relationships to authenticity, courage, action, desire, and selfhood. North node in Aries, South node in Libra rectifies how we pursue our passions and self-understanding. That's what these nodal shifts have been all about. So just to close, let's look at the final 8-8 portal that was on the 26th of August. Now, on that day, there was this wild, please hit the like button when you come in, my loves. There was this wild thunderstorm, which let us know that Oya was around. And if the ankle represents the ability to change direction or go with the flow, no wonder Oya popped up the day after all of these ankle injuries happened. And she wasn't alone. Normally, Oya can come and sometimes Shango doesn't turn up with her. You could just see the lightning, you never hear the thunder. That was a theme last year, not this year. This year, during that thunderstorm, they were in a whole symphony. As she cracked her lightning, Shango cracked his thunder louder than I've ever heard. When I tell you, the whole house was shaking to the point where Willow messaged me and said, "What the fuck is going on?" I said, "Girl, I don't know. But all I know is that I'm in my bed with my feet up, in and out of sleep." I was in and out of sleep while this thunderstorm was going on. Axel was somewhere in the house sleeping as well. So whatever activation, this is what I got from the activation. So the thunderstorm, heavy activations, was heavy warrior energy, but not warrior energy to fight, warrior energy to continue, to pursue whatever it is that you are passionate about at this time. Also, the safety, the protection. This activated your protection, the protection barriers, so that you don't have to forever be in ritual, forever be in deep prayer in order to create these protection. It's already surrounding us. That's what I think this thunderstorm was. And I think it wasn't just in the UK. I feel like it was in other parts of the world. So if you've experienced a thunderstorm on the 26th of August, please let me know, because to back up my theory. So in order to stay protected, we must listen, we must be present. I saw there was an incident, I believe, that a woman was assaulted with a brick, and there was some villainization of the masculine for not protecting her or for actually being the perpetrator. And a young lady came up and she said, "Look, I got my dad and my brothers, and they say to me, one way that we can protect you is if you listen to us. So you're not to be in certain places after a certain time. You're not to say and you see, Khadiva and Kenny, you see," he said, "it was raining in Memphis on that same day, heavy, my G's. So One way to stay protected is to listen. You have to listen to your intuition. You have to listen to your instincts. You have to listen to the subtle cues that are showing you that there is danger. Your gut feeling. When there is something that you are not to be engaging in, your body's already told you. But are you listening? Are you present? Or is your ego driving you into situations that could be potentially very harmful? I saw another thing where a young lady, she got $800 shoes stolen from her house from somebody that she met on Tinder. They went back to her place and they fucked, and this nigga stole her shoes. Now I'm like, are we still doing that in this day and age? Like, are we still doing that? That makes no sense to me. That you would bring a stranger into your home with your expensive goods on display, fuck them in your bed, and then expect trust to go down. The hell is that? Whole of the south has been stormy and thundery. That's Oya. What is that? Are we still doing that? I'm not even fucking people I know. Talk about strangers. Because of the energy. Everybody's going through something at this time. So this is no real time to be exchanging intimate energy with anybody unless you are 100% sure that everything is aligned. Oh my God. Khalifa and Kenny says it's over the whole of the Southern America. It was the weirdest summer ever. Thank you for the Thank you. Anyway, again, in order to listen, there needs to be stillness. You need to be present and still. You need to allow yourself to be in the moment so that you can hear these subtle cues. You also need a calm nervous system. So if anybody, you know what really fucks with my nervous system? Inauthenticity, lack of commitment, lack of communication. These things fuck with my nervous system. So anybody that's doing that, anybody that's not communicating with me properly, anybody that's making promises that they're not keeping, I'm removing them. I'm keeping them to one side because you're fucking with my nervous system and fucking with my ability to hear and listen to keep myself out of danger. Do you get? Finally, the protection is not getting what's it say? Your ultimate protection is not getting involved in the chaos that is currently surrounding us. Not talking about it, not being about it. Do you get? Thank you, Ishtal and Alicia Shorts. Thank you, my love. Hey, Jada V! Girl, what's good? That is your ultimate. Just keep yourself out of the drama. Keep yourself to one side. Don't get involved. Don't comment. Don't have an opinion. Mind your business. That's it. That's it. That's it from all of the notes that I've written. That's it. Let's pull 2 cards, guidance cards at this time, because I know you lot love a card. All right. Pulling from the Art of Divination. First card is inspiration to get pulled. We've got, I guess life is made for living, not existing. And we are drawn to the things that give us inspiration. So remember what I told you about the nodal shifts. Focus on what was giving you life before you became completely obsessed with the ascension process. What was giving you life? What did you enjoy doing? What did you want to do that you didn't do? Hey, Emma. Sorry, I mean, I'm this is, you're lucky I was going to come in the morning, but it takes me 2 hours just to get washed and dressed these days because those that don't know. So, yeah, that is a theme. for the collective at the moment, to really tap into your passions, your desires, because now that you've really learned yourself over all this time, now you can intentionally pursue what you're doing and know that it is for your highest greatest good. Some of the things and the themes that were surrounding you around the last time the nodes were in these places, 2004, 2006, you did out of fear. You did because somebody else was telling you to do it, or you didn't do it because you out of fear, because you were scared of putting yourself out there artistically, or you didn't think you were good enough, or you felt that the market was saturated, blah de blah de blah de blah. Do you know what I mean? There's so many reasons. So now, in this time, I want y'all to really tap in. Oh, today's is Yamia's feast day. I love that. I love that so much. Let me go. Let me chat rubbish because I can't go nowhere. I was gonna go out and get a little, I would honestly if I was on my feet. But again, it's like, it's Yameya's feast day. This is a beautiful occasion. This is a beautiful something that I need to celebrate within myself, in my heart, because I can't physically go out and do anything about it, and that's okay. Because sometimes I feel like some people have guilted us into not having altars, or not doing candle magic, or not, giving offerings, or so many reasons why we've been guilted into, hey Judy from Moonchild, into not having or doing certain things, not having the correct crystals, you can't be spiritual if, or not praying or whatever. But now is not the time. You need to take a step back and get back into you. What is it that you want to do? What is it that you desire to do? What is it that you want to pursue outside of this ascension process? Because there's definitely purpose in the process. We get that. But now that we understand that, now what? What are you doing? What are you pursuing? What are your desires? What are your how are you going to manifest that? I'm 47. How are you going to manifest that? How are you, not even how are you going to manifest it? Where do you start? If you want to be this came up in the 8-8 Lionsgate. If you want to write, why aren't you writing? If you want to sing, why aren't you singing? If you want to dance, why aren't you dancing? If you want to produce something, why aren't you producing it? If you want to make movies, why aren't you making movies? Because we've all got phones that can do it. My G's, second theme, inner peace. Inner peace. Because by you pursuing the things that you truly want to experience and do and be, you are creating an inner peace. You see these two fish of Pisces, this Jupiter went into retrograde 2 days ago. So again, this is talking about expansion. It's looking over what can be expanded, how you can think bigger, how you can dream bigger, how you can execute everything and anything that you hold within yourself. My G's. That was today's video. And I thank you all so much for being with me. Thank you for all of the likes. Thank you to the new subscribers. Thank you if you're new here. If you want more content, I am over on Patreon with various amounts of content, including book club, where we are almost towards the end of book club, which I am just gassed about. I can't believe that we finished reading that whole gigantic book together. And I'm also doing 5 aspects of the soul over there. If you want a private reading, you can go over to my website, www.mamadtarot www.mamadtarot.co.uk. Okay, so you can book your private readings over there. If you want to donate to the channel, please do so via PayPal. All of the links are in the bio. I love you lot so much. And I'll see you tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to be talking about psyops, and we're going to be talking about themes that we need to dodge and move through, because Simon and them are going to be on their rituals and their madnesses, and we need to not get involved. So I'll see you tomorrow. I love you tomorrow. Bye, bye, bye.